Hey there, welcome to this educational recycling series. Today, we're going to explore one of the most common types of waste, plastic. So get ready to learn how recycling facilities transform plastic waste into something new. First up, we have to figure out what kind of plastic we're dealing with here. There are 7 main types of plastic, each with its own recycling code found inside the recycling symbol on the bottom of plastic items. You can see these codes from 1 to 7. With number 1 being PET or P and number 2 being EDP. Knowing which types of plastic exist will help us when we learn how recycling facilities process them later. But for now, let's pretend we're those pesky soda bottles again, and we just got tossed into someone's recycling bin. Our first stop is the recycling center. We've made it to the sorting facility, but we've got a big problem. We're still mixed in with all the other types of waste that were in that recycling bin. Paper, metal, glass, and those pesky non-recyclable plastics. The sorting facility has to separate all those materials out before they can do anything else with us. They usually do this with a combination of people and machines. The good news for us bottles is that we are pretty easy to spot on the conveyor belt because of our unique shapes and rigid plastic bodies. Machines use optical sorters with cameras to identify us and blow us towards our very own recycling bin. Sometimes they even use magnets to zap away those pesky metals. Once we're separated from the other materials, we're on our way to the cleaning facility. We may have been clean bottles once, but after floating around in a big pile of waste for who knows how long, we're probably pretty dirty now. Luckily for us, the workers at the recycling facility have set up giant washing machines just for us. First, we go through a giant rinsing tank with powerful water jets to wash away any big debris, and then through another tank with soap to get rid of any remaining bits of trash and gunk. Finally, we go through one more rinsing tank to wash away the soap and any leftover pieces of trash. Now we're squeaky clean and ready for the next step. The next recycling facility over is where things start to get interesting. Here's where we bottles go from being bottles to being plastic flakes. It's time for shredding. We don't know about you, but we're definitely feeling a little bit nervous about being tossed into a giant shredder machine. However, thanks to all that hard work done by the workers and washing machines, we're actually pretty well prepared for this step. With no labels, no food residue, and no dirt or other contaminants, we're much less likely to jam the shredder. And that means we can be turned into something even more useful: plastic flakes. That's right. Our rigid plastic bodies get chopped up into small pieces that are much easier to melt and reform into new plastic items. But how exactly does the shredding machine do this? Well, let's find out together. As we enter the shredder, the workers turn on the blades. The blades spin around really fast, chopping us up into smaller and smaller pieces. We go from being big soda bottles to tiny plastic flakes. The shredded pieces fall onto a conveyor belt and get sent to a collection container. We might not be bottles anymore, but we're excited to see what comes next. Next, it's off to the recycling facility that specializes in turning plastic waste into something new. Thanks to the hard work at the previous facilities, we're clean and free of contaminants. And because we're made of PET plastic, we're also sorted and ready to be turned into new PET products. The workers at this facility are going to use a process called depelletizing to turn us from flakes back into something bottle-shaped. But before they do that, they have to melt us down. That sounds scary, but don't worry, we're in good hands. The workers feed us into a giant machine called a pelletizer. As we move through the machine, it heats us up and melts our plastic bodies. Then it pushes us through a strainer to remove any bits of plastic that didn't get shredded properly. After we come out the other side, the machine cuts us up into small uniform pieces called pellets. Each pellet is about the size of a sesame seed. The pellets are collected and dried so they are ready to ship off to the next part of our journey. Last stop on our recycling tour: the manufacturing facility. The workers here are gone now use their fancy machines to turn us pellets into something shiny and new, like a brand new bottle or a brand new piece of packaging. We're super excited to start our new life, but let's talk about how this actually happens. As we enter the factory, we see tons of different plastic making machines. Some of these machines squeeze hot plastic into new shapes like bottles or jugs. Others roll the plastic out into thin sheets that can be cut into almost anything you can imagine, like the plastic packaging that protects your cereal. The possibilities are endless. In fact, recycled PET plastic can be made into more than 1,000 different products, including fleece jackets, carpets, furniture, clothing, backpacks, luggage, and more. Talk about versatility. So once we've been turned into a new item, we're ready to hit the shelves and find our forever homes with our new owners. This is the end of our journey, but it's also the beginning of a whole new adventure. That's the magic of recycling. One person's trash is another person's treasure. And guess what? That brings us to the end of our recycling series. We hope you had fun learning about the recycling process from home to new product. Don't forget to remember the 5 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. We want to thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. Did you know that food scraps and yard waste make up a significant portion of the average American East trash? When you combine food scraps and yard waste, they can account for nearly half of your household's total waste output. On top of that, it's estimated that Americans throw away 300 billion pounds of food each year. That's equivalent to filling 84 million 18-wheeler trucks. Even worse, approximately 22 million tons of that wasted food ends up in landfills. Not only does this take up space in landfills, but it also releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas. So what can you do to help reduce this waste? Well, that's where the 5th R comes in: rot. Composting is a natural way to break down food scraps and yard waste into nutrient-rich material that can be used to fertilize plants. By composting at home, you can divert organic waste from landfills, reduce your carbon footprint, and create a valuable resource for your garden. Check out our website for tips on how to start your own compost bin today.